Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 94 of the Steam Deck podcast, Flip Screen Games weekly podcast, all about Valve's portable PC powerhouse, the Steam Deck. I'm your host this week, Stephen Radford, joined, as always, by my very good friend and co-host, Mr. Max Wright.
Ahoy, Steve. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I'm COVID-free.
Yeah, good.
I'm ready to go.
You feel better. You look rested.
It was like 2020 all over again. It was
Yeah, I
so
bet.
strange. It was so strange.
Couldn't go out. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't taste anything.
No.
Well, my back is killing me from carrying the entire company this week. Business company. What do we refer to ourselves as?
Channel?
Outlet. The entire channel, the entire outlet this week. But I'm really glad to have you here. Finally, a little bit of support. And what a show we've got today, right? What a packed, surprisingly out of nowhere packed show.
You know what? It's a bit of a banger. And
It
I was
is.
surprised because I thought, well, we're not really going to get much other than maybe the Steam Summer Sale, which, by the way, is now on till the 7th of July. We might talk about
11th.
some of the 11th, some of the
11th.
things that we've picked up or are going to pick up. But what I didn't expect this week was one of my predictions to come true, Max, that Steam is getting an official controller. Some may call it a Steam controller. I might maybe one of those people, but Valve's not making it. This one is going to be made by Hori,
Yeah.
who are known for making third-party controllers, officially licensed ones for PlayStation and for Nintendo.
Switch, loads of Switch ones, don't they?
But they've made one specifically now for Steam. It's designed for Steam. It's got a Steam button on it. It's got pretty much all of the buttons you would expect to see from
Nearly.
your Steam Deck on the Steam controller. The only thing that is missing potentially is the track pads.
Yeah.
But it does have four programmable buttons. Two are on the back, two are on the front this time around. They're like at the bottom, kind of below this weird little central section below the sticks. But the thing that I'm most excited about is the fact that it features gyro that's activated when you touch on the sticks, and they look to be the exact same sticks that are on the Steam Deck itself.
Yes, they do. Now, I want to put a quick clarification on there when you said a victory point for you. What you meant to say is your first victory
It's not my first. Come on,
this
Max.
year. I'm pretty sure it's
No,
first this year.
I don't think so.
All right, we'll talk about this in a future episode.
I'm
of
not.
Flip
I'm
Screen
not
Games,
accepting that.
Well, we're busy, so we can't look it up now. But I'm guarantee it's for you first. When I first saw this controller, I was a bit busy, so I sort of glanced at it, sent you a very funny message, and then sort of glanced at it again. Didn't really do a deep dive into it until today when I was like, "Cool, let's actually have a look at this and see what's going on." And this might be a hot take. The more I look at it, the less I like it. Not just in terms of the design. It really looks like the Honda electric car, the Honda
I
E.
love the Honda E. I
I
love it.
hate the Honda E. I
It's
drove past the Honda
beautiful.
E the other day, and it made me like cackle with laughter at
Oh
how
no,
like
don't.
ugly it was.
That's gorgeous.
It
Absolutely gorgeous.
looks like a little robot. But this looks like the Honda E, but not the design isn't the big problem. My problem is it's what it's lacking, not what it has. So all the things you said are there. It's got all the buttons. That's nice to have all the sort of Steam buttons, wireless as well as wired. Great option. Like you say, the sticks with the gyro, great. Full programmable buttons sounds good, but it's not. I'm pretty sure it's like you have to have. They're like you program them through Hori, not through Steam. So I'm not sure if it's going to show up on the Steam Deck the same way that it shows up on the same way it does for like the Steam controllers. So that's a worry. And no rumble at all of any kind, which is such a bizarre
Yeah.
omission. I get that it makes it cheaper. $50, I think this is supposed to be. So it is cheaper, but not that much cheaper. That is missing something as simple as the rumble. Right? This is good. This is a good start. I think like this seems like it's in some great colors. It's a different design. It stands out. It's got all the buttons you want it to. There's just a few things missing that are making me like question like whether I would even want to use this over, an Xbox controller, which has rumble and it has, doesn't have programmable buttons.
Doesn't have gyro.
Doesn't have gyro. That is a good point. That is a good point. There are some things that are missing. And I did hope when I first looked at it that the weird space in the middle might be like, okay, there's like a touchpad-esque thing in there.
I thought it was going to have a little screen in there. It looks like it's got two icons on, but it's just the design. It's just the Steam
It's
logo
just the Steam
and the
logo
Hori
and the
logo.
Hori logo.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, where do you think this comes from? This little weird design in the middle? Because is this like something that Hori does? I'm going to look up while you.
Apparently it looks like the HoriPad Pro. So I don't know if they've just taken that and
It does look like the HoriPad Pro. It's just the Xbox HoriPad Pro.
yeah, and then they've added some additional buttons
Down to
on
the sticks as well.
here.
Okay. So it's not even like a brand new just for PC design. This is
Well, I think there is a lot of new stuff here. The sticks seem to be the exact ones that come from the Steam Deck. They look the
mhm.
same. They have those haptic touch on there that
That is
will
true. Yeah.
enable the gyro to be activated. I think you're maybe mistaken by the buttons. If you look on the back, it allows you to switch between Steam input. If you click through to the Hori website,
Oh,
between Steam
yeah.
input and X input, and with Steam input, you'll be able to program those buttons within
Okay.
Steam itself.
I'm wrong. You are correct. Obviously I didn't zoom in on the picture. I just I read some words that maybe also didn't look at the picture. So good shout. Also, I don't know what this is in Japanese, but it does say app, but it does say X input above it. So maybe it does say you need the app
I think
for it.
it supports X input with an app if you want to use it in other games outside of
Okay.
Steam, but then
Okay.
also supports it in Steam with Steam input. There's definitely a toggle for that. There
Right.
also seems
Okay.
to be a toggle on the left, and I'm not sure what that's for next to the X input, where it looks like it's a linear curve and then a square. So my guess is that's related maybe to the triggers, maybe them being analog, but it does
Yeah,
also look like
one's
the
like a linear
buttons and
curve, and the other one's like an S curve almost, where it sort of
mhm.
comes up sharply in the middle and then evens out at the top. I don't know what that could possibly mean.
Yeah, we don't speak Japanese, unfortunately, or read
No.
Japanese, so we can't really decipher this. But the Verge did a little bit of translation for us. This is from an article from Antonio G. D. Benedetto over at over at the Verge.
You're right, we needed
Um,
Steve for that.
we needed Pete for that, is what we
Oh,
needed.
sorry, I needed Pete for that, that's what I meant. Sorry, yeah, we did
Yeah,
need
we
Pete for
needed an Italian to speak an Italian word.
that.
But this is coming out in Japan on October 31st first, and I would presume it's going to come worldwide on October 31st. We just haven't seen an announcement yet for the equivalent of $50, 7,890 yen. And it comes in five colors, which I wasn't expecting: black, white, neon yellow, and violet. That's four colors: black, white, neon yellow, and violet.
I'd be going black if I was to get one of these, absolutely. Like, I'm not a coloured controller person, I like all my consoles and stuff to be black. The white PS5 really stands out. I just we never got properly, like, like, full black Joy-Cons, did we? That Nintendo made black Joy-Cons.
No, they only had those on the original dev kits.
Yeah, what a
Yeah.
shame. Um So, yeah, I seeing that it was just that Xbox thing as well as if anything, knocked more wind out of my sails, 'cause my initial reaction to seeing your message was like, "Oh my god. Oh my god." And I opened it up and I was like, "Oh my god, look at it. It looks like a different controller entirely." But now that you've pointed out that it looks like something else, like
Mhm.
the another Hori controller, I think it's a step in the right direction. I think it's cool that they are targeting Steam specifically as a platform.
The
Um
fact that it supports Steam input and these buttons should presumably be programmable within, Steam
Yes.
is great.
Yes, I agree.
But I think Team Linux 01 on Discord said probably something that you would agree with, and that he wishes more companies would work with Valve to make Steam controllers, and that hopefully one of them will make one that has a trackpad, because I do think that's what's sorely missing. That's what I love going and using my original Steam controller for. Stuff
Yeah.
that doesn't work with a controller already, that does rely on keyboard and mouse input. I can use my Steam controller for that, and I have no issue whatsoever. It's just a bit dated now. It's obviously not supported. You've got to use a dongle really in order to go for it. So it's a bit of a shame that um, this doesn't have a trackpad. But if this is a sign of Valve and Steam potentially partnering with third-party companies, I'd love to see what 8BitDo has to offer, for
Yes, I
example,
agree.
and give us something from them, because I presume that they'll be able to do something really cool. I look at some of their pro controllers that they've got with those Hall effect sticks and all sorts of
Yeah.
cool
The
features,
dock
something
that you
like
can get
that.
with the ultimate controller, like, that
Hmm.
controller looks fantastic. If it had the X input thing, it had the extra sort of buttons, even without, like, the touchpad, I think that would still be better than what this is, what's coming here from Hori. Because I also associate Hori with lower quality controllers personally as well. I associate, are we drinking the same drink?
Harry Brompton's peach iced
Peach
tea.
iced tea?
No
What are
way!
the chances? That's crazy. I saw this today for the first time. I was like, "Oh, I like
Yeah,
an
me
iced
too
tea."
in Sainsbury's. I was like, "Oh, I'm getting this with my meal deal."
Must be very nice. I was in Tesco's, a bit more common man, I think, than you there. But oh wow, I can't remember what we're saying now. That's so exciting.
That you wanted an 8-bit
Oh
version of
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
controller.
I associate Hori with like Crash Bandicoot themed wired Switch controllers, where it's like a bit cheaper, it's a bit, it's lacking in features. It's not the usual stuff like HD Rumble and Amiibo support you get with sort of the Pro controller or the 8-bit Ultimate controller, which
Mm,
does have those sorts of things. So I think I'm gonna wait for. I was really hoping that the Scuff, despite Scuff having like you know kind of garbage like build quality sometimes, and like they don't support their controllers very well. When I thought they were maybe making a Steam controller, I was excited by that because their only other PC option is just a PS5 controller that just looks rubbish, and there's not really like a PC controller that is any better than this because it doesn't have like extra features like you know the extra buttons, Steam input, all that sort of stuff. So this is a great step in the right direction.
you use an Xbox controller with
Hmm.
with Steam. It seems that this week Valve have published a report that most people follow your lead, Max. You're the number one tastemaker, as we
Pacemaker,
know. And
obviously.
59% of controller sessions use an Xbox controller, 26% use PlayStation controllers, and Steam decks make up an entire 10% of controller sessions on Steam,
That's
which is pretty
pretty
insane.
massive. I see that's massive. When it says Xbox, I wonder if it's any way of different. Does it just say Xbox as a whole? There's no differentiator between like 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series controllers, Pro controllers, all that sort of stuff. Because I'm
Just
pretty
says
sure,
just says 59% of sessions are using Xbox controllers.
I'm pretty sure the Xbox 360 with the like almost like a PS2 lead that goes into a USB, the sort of the classic original Xbox 360. I'm pretty sure that still has like a heavy usage on PC. I think my friend still uses one as his like main controller. We know that submarines use them as their controller, as we saw last year. Or was it this year? I can't remember now. But I do wonder if that's like people who are like up to date on the latest Xbox controller, or if they're just like that's what I have, so that's what I'll use.
Yeah, quite possibly. But Valve's always updating Steam input as part of this report. They also gave us a bit of an update on what they're on some other stats since 2018. Daily average controller usage tripled from 55% to 15%. 42% of controller sessions are using Steam input, which we just spoke about. They actually, in this article, Max, which I should have read before we spoke about the HoriPad, say that they have specifically worked with Hori to add support for the new HoriPad for Steam, um, to make it work well with Steam input.
So it's not like someone can just any company could just do it. They would have to
They
be
have
in a
to
special
work
agreement
with,
with Steve,
yeah, it probably
which
has to
is
be
I
branded.
said Steve, I meant Steam. Good though, that's good because it means we're not going to get like Mad Cat style knockoffs and things like that. We are going to get officially licensed stuff, right?
Which would be good,
That's
yeah. I
good.
mean,
Yeah.
they've also added a driver for Windows now, which if you use Windows, cool. That allows the rear buttons on the Elite controllers to work with Steam input, so it doesn't have to use X input for that
What the
anymore.
Xbox one?
Xbox Elite, yeah.
Oh my god, maybe I'm upgrading my controller. Maybe I'm.
And PlayStation Edge controllers, DualSense Edge controllers are now supported, and will automatically apparently support any third-party licensed PlayStation controllers. So they've been doing a lot of work with
Have
controllers.
been.
I'd like to see them continue. I'd like to see more of these controllers coming from other companies.
You can guarantee every time I sit at this desk, I'm edging. So that's great to hear. That's really
That
nice.
is good. Yeah, you're gonna pick up one of those PlayStation controllers then.
I might have to. No, I'm currently looking. I'm immediately looking at an Xbox Elite controller now that the buttons on the back work, and I can use its Steam input to do it. What a great week for using your controller on your Steam Deck or on your PC, right?
It really is. They've also added a bunch more features that we're going to be talking about. But before we do that, we need to thank our Patreon producers for the month of June. They are, of course, Arnold J. Rimmer, Christopher Valens, Gabriel Hasselmeyer, aka Asobi, Snacky Goat, Steve Stumpy, Susan Likes Cats and Also Boobies, Ty the Dude, Voodoo Vic, and Wackahula. Thank you all so much for supporting the Steam Deck podcast and all of our sister shows, including the Flipscreen Games podcast and Nintendo Noise. If you want to support us, you can head over to patreon.com/flipscreengames. Or you can head over to our website, flipscreen.games, find links where we are everywhere on the web, including our Discord, where the conversation keeps going after the mics are turned off. Me and Max will be over there. We'll probably be jumping for joy about controllers and Steam input. And you
Absolutely.
can jump in and share your love for Steam input too. You may also want to share your love for this new feature that I love that Max can't get to work for some reason, which
Yeah.
is the new game recording feature, which is now available on the preview channel, on Steam Deck and on Steam on the desktop. On Steam, you activate it with Control F11, and on Steam Deck, you activate it with Steam plus A or Steam plus Y. Now, there's two differences between those modes. There's three options. You have to turn them on in the settings, Max, which I'm guessing maybe you didn't do.
No, I did.
You can record it's off by default. You can record it in the background, and you can set like a number of minutes that you want to record and the quality level. I think by default it's set to 120 minutes at high quality, which is about 8 GB. Or you can manually record it. I've set it to manually record it, but I might change it. And then when you're in a game, you just hold down the Steam button, and then like you would take a screenshot with Steam and R1, you do Steam plus A to manually record it, or you do Steam plus Y to add a marker on the timeline of the always recording in the background function.
Now, the issue that I had was that this just didn't work. I was able to turn it on, absolutely fine. I thought, right, because I'm more of a look at this cool thing I just did, record that
Mm.
person, as opposed to a something cool might happen, so I'm going to record this kind of person. I have it set to always record. So I tested it. I had it running for 20 minutes, and I made a couple of points. I was like, yeah, that was cool. I'm going to try and clip that out. Made a couple of points. Um, and when I went back to look at the footage, it didn't work. Now, my initial thought was, right, what I was recording there was me playing Elden Ring through Chiaki. So maybe there's a problem with it being a non-Steam game. So I moved to something else. Stupidly, I loaded up an emulator, and because I knew I could quickly do it. And then I got 30, 40 seconds into that, looked at it again and was like, it's gone. It's just a black screen. I can hear the noise. And when I press the Steam button on Y, there's like a flash of um there is a flash of the game for like a split second.
Oh,
Then I realized, oh, actually, again, this is a non-Steam game, so I'll boot up something native. I booted up Balatro, let it run for like 40 seconds again. Went to look at the recording, black. Just nothing. I just cannot get this to work. And what I haven't tried is the second option that you said, which is you press Steam and A to start a recording. I haven't tried that, but I cannot for the life of me. And I haven't rebooted it, which is a big as someone who works in
that's
IT
probably
for a
the
living,
reason, yeah.
should have rebooted it already, and I'm realizing this now. But it just doesn't work for me, and I was so excited by this. This is a feature that I've been desperate for, and I've tried all of the Decky plugins that are supposed to
Yeah,
do
deck
it.
recorder.
I've tried when I'm streaming from my PC, I will set GeForce Now. I'll set the recording shortcut, which I think is like Alt and like F9 or something like that. I can't remember now. I've set that to the back button in Moonlight, so I can press one of the back buttons and immediately try and capture a clip. That works with like limited, because what it
Mm.
then ends up doing is swapping from controller to mouse and keyboard, and sometimes it's really difficult to get back into controller mode without going upstairs and clicking back into the game. But hey ho, I've tried. Luckily, when I'm playing Elden Ring, it's very easy for me to just hit one of the buttons, and that brings up the share menu that the PlayStation has, which I think should be is a better way to do it. I think it should have that PS5 style share thing where you can bring up a menu, and with whether you press Steam and R1 or you press the share button on the Xbox controller, which I know does work for taking a screenshot. So hopefully they enable that. But it would be nice if there was a menu in there where you could say, "What am I trying to do here? Take a screenshot, record 30
I
seconds,
hate
record
that
the last
menu.
minute." Do you?
Absolutely despise it. I much prefer Xbox's approach, single button. And it's the same as the Switches. I press it for a screenshot, I press and hold it for a clip. And
I
that's all
like
I
that
need.
too. I
That's
like
all I
that
need.
too. I just don't. I just think that this Steam's version here, which admittedly isn't working for me, so I might be biased against it. It may be a little bit too convoluted for me. Like, do I need to be setting? I mean, it's great, obviously. Um, I'm glad it's here because I'm very excited for it. But I think in this implementation, and especially the fact that it doesn't work for me, I'm not all in on it.
Well, I think the timeline marker feature seems really cool as a concept. I've
I do
not
like that.
tried that mode. I have only tried the manual recording mode because I didn't want to set aside 8 GB of storage space just for video recordings that I probably will never do anything
Eight
with.
gigabytes, is it? Okay.
Well, you can set the amount of length of time you want to record for and want to keep a video for, and you can
Mhm.
also set the quality. By default, I think it's set to 720p, which is high quality.
Yes.
But you can reduce that, increase that. You can change the amount of time. And if you're someone who records a clip and then immediately goes and checks it out and saves that clip, you can do that. And really, you only then need to record the last 15 minutes. You don't need to
Yep.
set it to be
True.
2 hours.
That's a good point.
Um, so you could go down that approach. But I like the fact that set a marker on a timeline for multiple clips, come back to it after your gaming session, have a look through, go, oh, that one was trash. Actually, I'm not going to bother saving that. And then haven't used the sharing functionality for a good while. But now you can generate QR links directly on the Steam Deck, and
Mm.
then you scan them, and the video is just available on your phone, and
Oh, great.
it's really cool.
So it's not the same way that the Switch does a QR thing where you have to connect to the Switch's
No,
Wi-Fi that it creates. Then you have to make sure it's got the right password in because it doesn't connect first time. You have to make sure your mobile data is off so your phone doesn't automatically decide it's going to use the mobile data instead. Uh, and then when you scan the QR code, it doesn't work. So you have to try again. And then finally you get in and then you can download it and then you have to undo all of that. That's the Switch way of doing it. So I'm glad that you can just do it and it just works. That's good. Um, I I've just rebooted. I'm gonna give this another go. I'm gonna try it with a few games. I'm gonna get this to work. I believe in myself as
I
someone who solves problems for a living, you know?
I think this is something that I've been wanting maybe since the Steam Deck, existed.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice though, and I checked this out, it's anecdotal, I've not really looked into it all that much, but I booted up Forza Horizon 4 that I've been playing recently, and I tried it with the recording set to on and the recording set to off. And I think I noticed a bit of a dip in frame rate because I set it to use the hardware acceleration. So it was
Mhm.
probably utilizing a little bit of that to record the video, whereas it would have been using that maybe to render the game. So it's worth taking that into consideration as well. That if you do turn this on, you may want to turn off the hardware encoding or turn it on and have a look. I think it's marked as an experimental feature for the time being, but
Yeah,
it
it's
very much
in the beta,
is.
not in it's not just in preview, it is in the beta, so it's, like, a little bit further along
Okay.
than that.
But
Um
it's well worth checking out if you've been wanting to get in on video recording and being able to capture clips. Because I remember when
Mhm,
I was playing, oh, what was it? Elden Ring maybe on the Steam Deck, and I was just like,
mhm.
I want to record clips like I was doing when I was playing this on Xbox, but I couldn't do it. Same with Baldur's Gate 3. Like, there's always times when you're just like, oh, I really just want to record that bit that's just happened. And I'm the same as you. I'm a just happened kind of player, not a,
Yeah.
I'm going to start a recording session because I think something cool is going to happen in
Yeah, just
anticipation.
in case, yeah. I, It's you what you said about performance is interesting because there are some Switch games that just it's just turned off. There is no way for you to be able to record in that game because it's a feature they've turned off because it probably takes too much processing power.
Hmm.
Overwatch being one of them, you couldn't, like, record your play of the game because it would just be like, "Nah, no, no," or, "This doesn't work," which is frustrating. So it's good that you have the option here of being able to sort of make it work a bit better, I guess. I wonder maybe I would be a just in case person if the game I was playing was taking a significant hit, and that actually what I wanted to do was maybe, "Oh, I'm about to watch a replay anyway, so I'll quickly just turn that on, watch the replay, turn it off, and then I don't have to worry about performance because it's just doing a replay of something I've already done," you know?
Yeah. Uh, in any case, I think it's worth checking it out. Your mileage may vary. You may not be able to get it to work like max, but it's a beta. These things
Yeah.
are kind of expected to break and not work every now and again. But with my tests with Forza, had no problems, so I'll continue to test it. I had a really great run in Balatro the other day, and I wish I could have ran that. I was on like anti 13, and then I finally got
Ooh.
smushed.
Oh, so you passed Whack 12 before? Oh,
No.
it's good. When you unlock a good card with that. Did I tell
Yeah.
you I 100% of the collection? Like,
No,
that's
you did not tell me
yeah, 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 I
100% of the collection.
did it a little while ago. Yeah, I burnt myself out. I did 20 hours solid of just, like, need to get these last few things, did it, and then didn't play a game 3 weeks straight because I was just like, I've really put a lot of effort into that.
Yeah, it burns you out. But yeah,
Mhm.
I'm still having a good time with that game. I've definitely not completed out the collection. I'm trying to do a run on every single deck, but that's proven difficult.
Yeah, there's only, like, 2 I haven't done, I think, at this point. Um,
So I need to
what a
try and
game, man.
do that, and I'm sure they're going to add more content. But speaking of Balatro, number 3 in this brand new chart that popped on the scene this week, the Steam Deck top play chart. This is the 100 top play games on Steam Deck in the past week, month, or year. You can choose to decide from the drop down. It's a live chart now over on Steam. We'll put a link in the show notes, but you can find it if you're on the Steam Deck. You can see the top play games there. I wonder if this is the end now of the tweet that we used to look at
Yeah,
every single
the
month.
monthly image. Well, maybe they'll
Yeah.
still release it because it is a good little bit of interactive, it gives you something to look at. because this does it by when you select month, it does the previous like 30 days or 4 weeks or whatever it does it from the point you do it. Whereas I think if you wanted to see that monthly look, you'd have to look on the first of every month to see what had happened in the previous month. So I do think they'll still do it for each month because also the games must like it. Stardew Valley must love every single time it comes out. Stardew Valley's at the top, Balattro's at the top. These games must love that they are this high on the list. It's great marketing for them, and I'm sure if they stop doing it, they get complaints. This is a great new feature, handy for just discovery. You're on your Steam Deck, you want to look at games, you're looking at the whole Steam store. You're never like sure of like, oh,
Is it going to work
is it
well?
gonna work well on deck? Are there
Mm.
problems with it on deck? Whereas here you can see that these are the people have been playing these for hundreds of hours. You have the verified status on the right-hand side, but which we know is mostly useless. But for the average player, this is sort of a good metric for them to look at. Um, if you like, for the Steam sale, for example, a friend of mine literally just midway through recording said he bought an OLED Steam Deck. Didn't take much convincing from me, but he's finally done it. Um, and I had something to send him. I was able to send him this and say, "Mate, this has just come out." Um,
And you didn't even gift it to him, Max. Come on. Come
what,
on.
a Steam Deck?
No. A game, Be like,
Oh,
gift him a copy of Balatro.
maybe.
I gifted Ray a copy the other day, and he was playing through it, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not doing too well on this round, on this hand," and he wanted to restart the hand, so he went into the menu and clicked restart, and the whole run restarted, and he did not realize it was a roguelike, and I felt so bad that I never alerted him to that
Oh no, that's miserable. You rest. Oh no. Maybe I should. If I do send it to him, I'm going to tell him what it is then. But that is a great way to introduce someone to the Steam Deck. Oh, here's 100 hours of your life gone.
Do that and Elden
Immediately.
Ring, number 1, is 30% off in the Steam sale at the moment.
Yeah.
DLC's just come out. I know, Max, you had a great time with the DLC. You're speaking about it over on the Flip Screen Games podcast this week, right?
Yes, I've done. Yep. We talk about sort of me and Lewis from the cross players played about 6 or 7 hours each. Talking about that, I've played a few bit more than that now. I was up quite late last night playing it because I'm addicted. I'm back in. Have you been playing it? I don't want to get too deep into this. Have you been
No,
playing
I
it?
haven't. I never finished the main story on Elden Ring first time around.
We can do it now on Steam Deck, right?
And yeah, I could do. I have a copy on Steam Deck, but I never finished it.
Time is now, my friend. Time is now.
I think you might be right, because but then I look around the corner and I'm like, "Oh, Star Wars is in a couple of months, Do I wanna get
Months.
into Elden Ring?" Yeah, if you
Months.
know how long Elden Ring is and how little time I
Yeah.
have to play video games
Yeah,
most
that's
of the
true.
time.
Yeah, you spend half your time doing podcasts about them instead of playing them.
Exactly.
That's the problem, isn't
Exactly.
it?
Well, most of my life is spent working. The rest of
Mhm.
it is talking about video games and not actually playing them. It's great.
Yeah, that is the eternal struggle, isn't it? The there's a couple of like newer things that because we don't see this very often. There's a few things on this list that I was expecting to come up, you know, on the monthly list. Like Kingdom Hearts, for example, is number 5. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. It's number 5 on the list. Just shows what a great idea it was to bring it to Steam finally. And we wouldn't have known that this was happening until like next month when they go, "Oh, Kingdom Hearts is number 5." But now you can just see it right there in the past week. Or if I go past month, sorry, I'm looking at the past week. Okay, it
Why?
disappears when you look at the month. It goes down to 11. Sorry, but still.
And you know what though? I still think that's pretty good going, and I imagine that's
Mhm.
going to shoot up because it's 30% off at the moment on sale. So I
Yep.
imagine more people will buy it. Fallout's in here, same reason we expect it to be there because you know the Fallout TV show was massive, and
Yeah.
everyone is still playing that game because it's a massive game.
Yeah, there's it's interesting to be able to track these things in real time and also see where they because you can see whether it's like gone up or down. You might be able to just look at trends, which
Yeah, I feel
maybe
like
isn't
I'm watching
interesting
Top of
to
the Pops. It's great.
yeah. Da-na-na-na-da. Yeah, this is great. This is like a nice little. It's only a little thing, isn't it? But it is a nice little thing. It's weird that it's taken them so long to do it. They had the stats. They obviously already had the stats, and they do it every Christmas. They're like, "Oh, here's for the Christmas sale. Here's the past year of games."
Yeah,
It's a
it's
bit odd,
strange. Yeah, I'm
but we've got
glad
it
they
now.
did though. I'm really
Yeah,
glad
yeah,
they
yeah.
did, and yeah, it's nice to see a game that I picked up this last week, Forza Horizon 4, making a new appearance on the list at 25 because it's 80% off. And I picked this up because they're delisting this game, and I
Mhm.
really implore anyone that likes Forza Horizon and really wants to just destroy the UK countryside with a supercar to buy Forza Horizon 4. It's a really great time. and once again, they're delisting it because of music, and that drives me absolutely insane
It
that it's
makes
always music licenses.
Yep, it makes you wonder why they bother. Do they maybe they just don't care. Maybe they're like, "Oh, for the 4 or 5 years, where however it's long it's been that we get to have this game out, having that soundtrack, helps us out." I don't know what like the FIFA soundtracks, for example, are always people always say like, "Oh, that's a FIFA song. I know that song from FIFA." Whether Forza Horizon is the same thing,
Mhm.
it is frustrating when you're losing access to these games, not because, um, the license for, like, the IP is running out, like with the Transformers game that Platinum made that you just can't play anymore, or the Avatar game they made, um, because of music. The game is so you could what they could have done, instead of delisting it, is just taken the music out and
I
replaced
and
it with
I would have much preferred that.
yeah.
Replace the soundtrack, do a new version,
Mhm.
and put it up with no music if you need to, patch it out,
Yeah.
replace it with, like, crappier songs,
Yeah.
for freebie ones from the YouTube Music library. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's really playing it for the music. The music's just a nice to have. Can you imagine if GTA 5 got delisted after 3 years because they didn't wanna keep paying for the music?
Yeah. I guess GTA, the difference with GTA is it's constantly selling for, like, a lot of money, whereas I guess with Game Pass, these things must have a shorter shelf life because after a few years when you've had, like, the next Forza game come out and people are still paying the same subscription fee, maybe you're like, "We are spending a lot of money on these songs for a game people aren't playing," but don't delist it. Just put the effort in to take them out like you said, like, just get rid of it.
It
Um,
can't be that difficult to replace some MP3 files, surely.
yeah. This feels like a Microsoft, like a little bit of a shit well, not a shit sandwich because the the sandwich is delicious, it's the bread that's shit. You know, the studio closures, Hi-Fi Rush, um, great sort of showing at E3, we had a great we spoke very highly about them, they had a lot of good things to say, and then, like, delisting a game after 3 years, like, it's just not on really, is it?
It's not on at all. 3 years is a very short period of time for a game to be on sale on Steam. Now, granted, if you buy the game, you get to keep it forever.
Yeah.
It's yours. So if you do wanna play it, go grab it. I got the Ultimate Edition, which comes with everything for
Even more
16.99.
songs, it comes with a bumper pack of songs for you to enjoy.
You know what? I often just turn the music off and I'll watch something on YouTube while I'm driving around doing
Mhm.
just mindless driving, or put my own music on, which is significantly better than Horizon Pulse, or Horizon Bass, or whatever the fuck the radio stations are. There are
Yeah.
some good songs in there though, and Forza Horizon 5's on sale as well, which I liked, but not as much as the UK one because we get to drive on the correct side of the road in
Yeah, we
Forza
do.
Horizon 4, and it's nice.
Hell yeah, we do. What else did you pick up in the sale?
I haven't picked anything else up yet. I think I'm going to get a couple of things, but then it's like the same issue I have every single time where it's like, am I buying it because it's just on sale, or am I buying it because I want it? Whereas with Forza, as soon as I saw it was being delisted, I was like, I need to have that game. I already own it on Xbox, but I want it on a handheld. And
Yeah.
I know it plays really well on Steam Deck, and it really does play really well on Steam Deck. So I immediately picked it up as when it was 80% off. There's not been any other games that I've really wanted. I bought my
Mhm.
friend, as I said, a copy of Balatro, which I bought before the sale anyway, and I highly recommend anyone pick that up. But there's nothing else at the moment that's really jumped out to me. There are some huge discounts on games that I already own, like Disco Elysium is like £3 at the moment, which is just insane. Celeste is down to like £1.
Oh, wow.
Um, so some of these games you absolutely should go pick up if you've not played them, but there's nothing that I've really been waiting for that has now come on sale. What about you?
I so almost the opposite of you, where I was thinking, "Oh, do I want this because it's cheap, or do I want this because I want it?" And these are games that I've like had on my wish list for a while, and they were cheap. They were very cheap. So I spent less than £10, and I got Castle Crashers, Middle Earth: Shadow of War, Grindstone, and Pronti. Grindstone I have on Switch, but
Grindstone's wonderful. I play that
I
on my phone.
yeah, oh yeah, I can't play it on my phone. I was looking for it on phone. They've just released the Monster Hunter puzzle game, which is basically Candy Crush but Monster Hunter. So I'm going to be playing that. But now I have Grindstone on my Steam Deck. I'm really looking forward to playing through that, jumping out to that soundtrack, starting again. I don't know why I said soundtrack like that, like I was in Oliver
Terry Tibbs.
Twist. Terry to soundtrack. Listen to the soundtrack. But Castle Crashers was 99p. Middle Earth: Shadow of War was £1.73. I mean, those are games I've had on my wish list for so long, and and now I can get them. And Prontia, I can't remember what that is, but it was on my wish list. I knew I wanted to play it. It's a Metroidvania, I think. You know what I'm like.
There's one that's always on my list, and I'm always like, do I want to bite on this? But we've spoken about probably a better version of the game. Sekiro's on my list. It's 50% off. Do I play that
Oh,
or do
yeah, I
I play
love
Elden Ring?
Sekiro. Sekiro's hard. Elden Ring has a lot of things that make it easier. Elden Ring has a lot of like, oh, I can be a magic user, I can summon people in, or I can like, there are things you can do. Whereas Sekiro is like this you and that dude, baby. You and that dude
Mm.
smashing swords until one of you yields.
And I've been thinking about picking up the Uncharted collection because I
Yeah.
really like those games. It would be nice to have those on Steam as well. So there's a good chunk of games I could pick up, but it's nothing I'm going to play right now.
Yeah.
Do I just wait for the autumn sale when these games are likely be on sale again?
I'd probably say wait. You've got Elden Ring to play, so you don't have time for anything else.
I'm probably not going to play Elden Ring. I'm deep into Forza Horizon at the moment, and I'm having a good time with it. I needed something mindless, and granted,
Yeah.
Elden Ring can be mindless because it gets to a point where parrying it just feels like second nature. But I need to learn the controls again. I need to learn that game. There's a reason I didn't go straight to the DLC, and that I would start again.
Yeah.
I know that that game is the DLC is very very difficult.
It's a challenge, but it's so good.
But
But I
I'm one of
am
those ones that beat that dude, but the one that flies around and smashes you and stuff before they nerfed him. In
Oh, Radahn. Yeah, I
yeah,
beat Radahn pre-nerf as well,
yeah, there
yeah.
you go. See, I'm gonna get a little badge that says that
You
I
should.
beat
I
Radan
actually
pre-nerf.
I beat the first 3 bosses of the DLC before they released the patch that made it slightly easier. I know that's bad for me. Um, but I have also been getting slaughtered by dogs every now and again, so maybe I'm not that good a player. Maybe I'm just bang average, the same as everyone else.
What else have you been playing? Is it just Elden Ring at the moment, aside from the games you picked up in
Well,
the sale?
yeah, because I was having a little bit of a break, and then when the Metro Prime 4 news dropped, we haven't spoken since then. I've been very, very excited.
I can,
I've
I know, Max. I know you did a whole episode all about Metroid. You've done two whole episodes all about Metroid.
Yeah, I got to do that. That's wicked for me. I'm really happy for me. I have been reading the news space in Metroid, so I've been dipping in at like Zero Mission and Metro Prime Remastered and things. And yeah, basically I was preparing for Elden Ring because I realized I hadn't done everything on my New Game Plus that I needed to get to the DLC. Good opportunity to learn the character, learn what I'm doing. I respect 4 times anyway. Um, and now I'm just sort of playing. I'm even going back into sort of the non DLC content just to sort of like pick up a few things that I might have missed to sort of help my build out. And I've also been very just to make it Steam Deck related. Cat was working late yesterday till 8 o'clock at night, so I couldn't use the TV. Sat up here on Chiaki for Deck, playing it on there. Last night in bed, playing till like 12:30 at night.
It's
Chiaki
great.
for Deck, loved it.
Yeah,
Absolutely loved it.
I do like Chiaki. It is a good time, but yeah, I've really been playing my Steam Deck a lot more lately. I had COVID, so I was like bed
Hmm.
bound for a while, and then Henry was watching football, and I find it like watching paint dry most of the time.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I was very glad to be able to play Balatro and Forza and Hitman. Because did you see that they're bringing who are they bringing to Hitman?
You're the
Uh
only person I know that ever pays attention to Hitman, so I would not be able to tell you. I'm
oh
sorry.
god, who was it? The new elusive target. It was Conor McGregor is the new elusive target,
What?
but yeah, it's called the Disruptor. So
They've
you want and you can play it for free from June 27th to July 29th.
they have they've sold out, man. They've really sold out. I'm sorry your favorite game is no longer cool, man. I'm really sorry.
You know what? I'm gonna be very pleased to kill Conor McGregor.
Oh yeah, that's a good point actually.
So it's
I
fine.
just realized we never saw the James Bond game from IO. It's been
No,
how
we
long?
haven't. We have
We
not, no.
Indiana Jones is almost out, and I'm pretty sure they were announced around the same time. Because I remember
Mm.
thinking like, how many more licensed games are we gonna get?
But
Um,
was it that like, an announcement just to hire people? Was that, "We're gonna make
hmm.
a James Bond game. Who wants to come and work
Yeah,
on
that's
it?"
probably it. Yeah, that is probably it. But then again, that's what the Indiana Jones thing was, wasn't it, as well? The original Todd Howard, like, talking about it thing, that was the same thing, I think. Then
Possibly.
again, games take different times. I shouldn't judge one game by another game's metrics. That's not fair of me.
And hit I IO spend a lot of time. They have their own engine. They will probably be
Mhm.
constructing a lot of cool, unique locations for James Bond to go to. And I really want to see with that game, do we get to play as different James Bonds, or is it you're just Daniel Craig? Because I really don't want to be Daniel Craig again.
Or, just, the
Generic.
character of James Bond, yeah, like the so but like, no, I think it should be like a generational thing, that would be quite cool. Well, maybe it'll be skins, maybe it'll be there's a game James Bond, and then there's you can "Oh, we've released this season that's all about"
Here's Pierce Brosnan. Yeah.
yeah, here's Pierce Brosnan's set of movies, and now you can play scenarios from insert movies here, and then
GoldenEye. Tomorrow never dies, but what
GoldenEye,
is
there
not
we
enough,
go.
and die another day.
Oh, this is good, alright, now do some Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and whatever the last one was.
Now do Timothy Dalton.
Oh, God knows.
Uh, let's move on. I think it's on is it by Her
On Her
Majesty's
Majesty's
Secret
Secret
Service?
Service, maybe.
That
And
Timothy
what's the
Dalton?
one where he gets married? That's a really strange James Bond film. Really strange.
Uh, I don't know, he's just like I can't imagine it. You've made that up because he's such
No, he
a
does. He gets married and
no?
then his wife dies. And there
Oh,
could and
that's Casino Royale, isn't it? Is that not Casino Royale?
no, no, no.
Oh,
And then there's Octopussy. It's a
yeah.
terrible movie at the carnival circus thing. That's awful. Yeah.
There's which one's the one with Alan Cummings in it? Is that GoldenEye?
Yeah, that's GoldenEye, yeah.
Okay, alright, I
With
have seen GoldenEye.
the pen that he keeps clicking.
I'm not a Bond guy, I don't know if you're aware of that.
I could tell. I could
Yeah,
tell.
I try my best.
What is it about you just don't like them? Have you
It's
tried
not I
them?
don't like them, it's never something I'm like, "Oh, yeah." I really liked Casino Royale, didn't like Quantum of Solace, didn't watch Skyfall, didn't like Spectre.
Casino Royale
Um,
was basically a Bourne movie. Just don't bother watching James Bond and watch the Jason Bourne
Never seen the
films.
Bond films
Oh, they're
either.
great. You'd like those if you liked Casino Royale.
Introducing IO's Bourne game collection. Now they're gonna release all the Jason Bourne games
There
as
was that
films as
Jason
games.
Bourne game. What was that one?
I don't know,
Who
these are
made
actually
that? I
there's a
had
lot of,
that. The Bourne Conspiracy.
oh, actually,
Sierra Entertainment, High Moon Studios.
well, our Sierra.
Not our Sierra.
Oh,
Sierra as
okay.
in the Sierra Mountains.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever play the James Bond game on the PS2, From Russia with Love?
No, never played that. I played Nightfire. That was good.
Mm. I really liked From Russia with Love. That was, Sean Connery. But I was also, like, 12 years old, so what did I know about video games back then?
You knew what was good and what was bad. I think anyone can review a video game.
No one's born a tastemaker, mate. You have to earn it through
Well,
you have to be dragged through hellfire and play some of the best and some of the worst things in the world to earn that, mate.
do you remember 007 James Bond on the Game Boy? It was like
No.
a Game Boy. It was like a James Bond RPG game thing.
Oh,
It was very weird.
there's just I think I'd love to we spoke about this, I think, the other day about, on Nintendo Noise, me and Lewis, about how a lot of games from our childhood being licensed games because it's like they sold. And so those games don't make it onto Classic Collection. They don't make it onto, um, like, Virtual Console or anything like that because they're licensed. You lose access to them like you have with, Forza Horizon. So there's all these
Mhm.
games that are just, like, lost to childhood. Sorry,
Max is currently having a sneezing fit.
I'm back. What was I saying? Licensed games. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that's just sort of, like, lost now. Like Batman Returns on the, the Game Gear, for example. That's a game I remember playing as a kid and being like, "Oh, what a great game," but that was just, like, a game made to sort of fill a contract. There's probably a team just like, "Oh, I don't care about this," making it, but that was such an important part of my childhood that is just not gonna be experienced again because because of the nature of these licensed games. It's just weird. That's just a
You can
weird
find them, and I do hope that some of these make a comeback. I mean, that's what GOG was originally set up to do with good old games, right? And this week we
Yeah.
saw that they've brought the original Resident Evil in a PC port, which seems to be a
Yes.
really, really good port that I may end up checking out because I
That would've
love
been a
that
good headline, wouldn't it,
original
for
game.
us?
Would have been not on Steam, weirdly.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's only on
There's
GOG.
there's ways around it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm playing. I own Stardew Valley from GOG, and I've refused to buy it again on Steam because I don't want to
Yeah.
lose my save. Although I probably could just copy and paste the save file.
So
Uh,
what you're saying is I just have to wait for, THQ no, THQ Nordic to re-release Batman Returns on the Mega Drive, no, on the Game Gear as Batman Re-Returns because they can't do a remaster without some stupid subtitle to it. That's what you think. I should just wait patiently and hope that they buy up all these games, embrace her, and then they should just re-release them all. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I mean, I think that's probably what they're going to end up doing because they don't have any money to make new games. They might as well. They're just going to re-release the old ones.
All the stuff they already own.
That's probably going to be the move. Oh,
A great
look at
point.
this like
Oh yeah, look at
lens
that.
flare I got going on. I'm like in a J.J. Abrams movie right now.
Nothing has ever felt more like filler on this show than us having the same drink and you having a fun light thing happening.
No, I think this is cool.
That is cool. That is very cool. I'm
I
really
just
proud of you,
noticed it.
Steve.
That's my handbrake for the year.
Someone's already typed out the comment. Now, what's that weird thing happening to that lighting next to Steve? I
It's
think
a
they've heard
ghost.
you say it. Yeah, it's a ghost. Should we wrap up, Steve? I can't imagine we're gonna get back on track from here.
Yeah, thank you all so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Steam Deck Podcast. Let us know down in the comments or over on Discord what games you'll be picking up in the summer sale, games you have picked up in the summer sale, any recommendations you've got, what you think of the game recording feature, if you can get it to work, unlike Max, because you think someone who works in IT would be able to figure something so
I'll
simple
give it
out.
another go by next week.
Apparently not. And are you going to get the Steam controller from Hori, or do you think it's ugly as sin like we do? Let us know. You can head over to our website, flipscreen.games. You can find out everywhere we are on the web, and we shall see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.